going on, Jerome's? So the start of the 2023 NFL season has not been ideal for the Minnesota Vikings. 0-3 at home and losses to the Bucs, Eagles, Chargers, Chiefs. Sort of is what it is. And the fact that the Vikings were within a single score in every single one of those games and easily could have flipped the tables, easily could have won those games. And what's frustrating is this team easily could be 4-1, maybe even 5-0, as easily as they are 1-4. But here we are, and again, it would almost be better if this was a team that was just getting their ass kicked every single week by 20, 30 points a game, and it was clear that just tear it down and then rebuild from the studs up, right? So it's like it'd almost be better to be the Giants right now. But the fact that the Vikings have literally had a fighting chance every single week, and a bounce goes their way, and officiating call goes their way, and maybe the Vikings hold on to the freaking football, whether it be fumbles or drop passes and potentially drop touchdowns, things could be different, but they aren't, and here we are right now. And also really concerning is the health of Justin Jefferson. So he exited in the fourth quarter against the Chiefs with a what looked like a hamstring issue. We'll get some more details today with MRI and medicals and whatnot, but could be a tough couple of games. Now, the trade deadline is coming up after week 8, so it's on Tuesday, October 31st, Halloween, and these next 3 games are going to determine how the rest of the season plays out. And, if everything continues to go sideways and pear-shaped, Kwesi could be doing some business at the trade deadline. And all 3 games are in the NFC. 2 of the games are in division, and 2 are on the road. So you're at the crooked Chicago Bears where, the Bears are 1-4, but also, they just put up 40. And, they doubled up the commies last Thursday night. And that offense actually looks decent. And the Vikings, for whatever reason, sometimes it's tough to play at Soldier Field. So that's not a gimme, as it appeared to be a couple weeks ago. Then you're hosting the Niners Monday Night Football. The Niners just destroyed the friggin' Cowboys 42-10, and they're tough. They're stout in the trenches. They potentially have the best defense in the league. Brock Purdy is dealing, not making mistakes. George Kittle just had 3 touchdowns. McCaffrey's McCaffrey, and Debo and Ayuk and whatever. The Niners are a juggernaut, sure. And then you're at the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers. I'm not buying into Jordan Love yet, and as of right now, both teams are still certainly up in the air. And the NFC North division, there's starting to be a little bit of separation. The Detroit Lions, Lions are looking good. What can you do? Packers play tonight in Las Vegas. Ooh, long weekend for the Cheesers. There you go. So we'll see what happens tonight, and can this division stay within grasp? The Vikings still haven't cracked their divisional schedule as of yet. They'll do that on Sunday. But the question is, what happens the next 3 games? And do the Vikings, go 2-1? So are they 3-5 at the trade deadline? Are they potentially buyers? Do they go 0-for? Are they potentially 1-7 at the trade deadline? Then clearly they would be sellers. Do they sweep? Somehow, some way, they beat the Niners and they get it done in division and head into the trade deadline at 4-4. It's also a possibility. We'll see. But, could it be a spot where the Vikings head into the trade deadline 3-5, 2-6, and potentially look to do some business? I think it's possible. And some possible trade candidates. Of course, Kirk Cousins is going to be the name bandied about a lot, but of course he does have that no trade clause. Would he waive it? Potential teams. The Jets always get brought up a lot. Zach Wilson's sort of playing a little bit better. We'll see. Atlanta, Desmond Ridder actually finally had himself a good game, so maybe that's a non-starter. Who knows? I don't think that even if the Vikings get to the trade deadline at 1-7, I don't think Kirk would waive his no trade clause. I just really don't. I didn't even list JJ because that's not happening. Kwesi could flip Cam Akers. So instead of the late round draft upgrade in 2026, maybe get something tangible these next couple seasons. Ezra Cleveland is a free agent after this season, and we said a bunch. He's a left tackle playing left guard, and a team that potentially could see Ezra as a left tackle in the future. Maybe the Vikings get some trade capital there. Harrison Phillips is still young, still very solid in the final year of his deal. Perhaps he leaves after the season. Marcus Davenport's on a one-year deal. If Davenport is healthy, if Davenport is getting after it, he's got sacks in 2 straight games, maybe he does have some value as well. Danielle Hunter, revised deal, basically in a contract season with Danielle, and also the Vikings can't tag him. So do they move on from Danielle? Personally, I would rather they extend him, but we'll see. And then Cameron Bynum, where I love Cam Beasley. I think that he's played an extremely high level this year, but also he was a Spielman draft pick, and Kwesi drafted Lewisine in the first round. Even though they're not a one-for-one safety stylistically, is it a spot where they maximize the value for Beasley now if they don't see him as part of the future, since they did extend Metellus? Who really knows? But just spitballing at this point. But yeah, these next 3 games, this is the Alamo. Like, this is Thermopylae. This is the last stand. The Vikings have to get something done. And again, what's so frustrating is sometimes it is puck luck. Sometimes it is literally the ball not bouncing your way. The Vikings have turfed it a bunch of times, but how often can you go not recovering your own fumbles? It is really an anomaly. But the Vikings haven't held on to the ball. They've dropped passes. They've had bad game management. They've had just bad stuff all the way around. And you could say it's unlucky. You could say it's regression to the mean. You could say whatever. But the Vikings are 1-4. And these next 3 games against the Bears, Niners, and Packers are going to make or break the season and determine the course the rest of the way. And what's even more frustrating, so week 8 to 14, like we pointed out, the Vikings could go on a run there. And maybe it would be too little too late. And maybe it would just be enough to downgrade the Vikings draft pick and really upset some fans. But we'll see. If the Vikings can get out of these next 3 weeks 2-3, and so they'd be 3-5 on the season. 2-1, so they'd be 3-5 on the season. I don't think that they would sell at the trade deadline. Hell, they may even be buyers. And then Atlanta, Saints, Broncos, any of those games necessarily scare you? No. Bears at home, Monday Night Football, not really. You're at the Raiders, they're nothing to write home about. So, the Vikings could get off the canvas. And again, what's so frustrating is that you see the talent on this team, and they just haven't put it together. And they keep beating themselves. They could have easily, they should have beat the Bucs. They could have easily beat the Eagles. Frankly, they're the better team that night. Easily could have beat the Chargers, and the Chiefs was whatever. So, who knows? But a lot of this does hinge on the health and availability of Justin freaking Jefferson. So, we keep tabs on what's going on there, and we'll see what happens, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. The next 3 games will determine the trajectory of the 2023 season. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.